Good evening. It's Monday. It's warm.
It's moist.
It's horribly warm, and I'm not comfortable. So don't expect high energy Steve for the next 2 hours.
Oh, good. Well, at least you're not.
What a way to start, eh?
No. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this Monday night, Season 6, Episode 15 of the most excellent Plastic Crack podcast. Tonight, we'll be discussing what makes a good rule book. And glitter.
Not what makes good rules.
No. We'll be here for this.
Oh, I've done all my research into what makes good rules, mate.
Well, that's 4 days ruined.
Yeah, it is.
No, what makes a good rule book, and we don't mean covered in glitter and pasta and crayons and things like that. That'd be a mad rule book. What makes a good rule book? What do you like to see in a rule book? So we'll be discussing that. We've got the usual hobby chat, project updates, viewers, pictures, and some very special news coming up later.
Hot news.
Yes.
Hot news.
Just news.
But stick around till about 9 o'clock. Do you reckon we're going to be doing the news?
Yeah.
So now just stick around. Some good news at 9 o'clock. As always, thank you to Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby for sponsoring the Plastic Crack podcast. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out on the web store for an additional 5% off your already discounted order. As always, if you need any help, contact Ian and the chaps at Boards and Swords, and they'll be able to help you out with all your hobby needs. What else I got to do? Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Links to channels. Links to channels in the description below. Thanks for everyone watching the catch up. Always appreciate that. That's the tick list done.
Well done.
Yeah.
And it's 3 minutes.
Nailed that.
3 minutes past 8. God, I'm nailing this. I'm a professional these days. It's fantastic stuff. Anyway, chaps, how are we? How are we on this rather moist Monday?
Moist Mondays.
Moist
Mondays. All right, I've had a bit of a day, but I'm glad to be finishing it on here with you guys.
Oh,
after the day I've had, there is nobody that I would rather spend my evening with, rather than the people that I've spent my day with. So, that's not the people I work with. I just like to add it's. Oh God, I've had it. I can't even really. It's
the external folk. The external folk.
External folk.
I spoke to him at lunchtime, and he said his day was going reasonably well.
Yeah, it was going really well. I spoke to you, and then it all went to shit.
It wasn't my fault, I have to say. Well, for once, it wasn't my fault.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't directly you.
Oh, it was only indirectly. Oh, good.
So, Dom, how are you? How have you been?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm a bit tired, but I drove back from Shropshire today, so
oh, crikey!
The first thing this morning. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to 2 days of sitting on Zoom calls because our sales kickoff meeting for my company has decided that they don't want us to fly anywhere. We should all do it on our computers. So 2 o'clock till 10 o'clock. Because of the time difference.
That sounds absolutely enchanting. I'm pretty sure
there'll be a lot of painting done. That's all I'm going to
say. This time next week, 3 projects down. Dom has secured a trade deal and also finished 4 armies.
Right.
See, Zoom calls do have their benefits, don't they?
There's good things and there's bad things about them.
I hate Zoom. I actively avoid it. I lie through my teeth and tell people that we don't have the capability to use it. No one ever questions it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'd rather drive 2 hours to a site meeting for 10 minutes and use Zoom.
We wouldn't manage in my place because we just live on Zoom.
So do we. Well, we have the I think the that's not the worst that's ever happened. Was I remember jumping onto an impromptu team meeting and I realised I was wearing a Cannibal Corpse t-shirt. So I was slowly sliding down the screen. I don't know I could see what I was. We are a man down this week. Ken is on holiday.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes, yes. Well, he said we were expecting him, weren't we? And then he said he was in an impromptu caravan holiday. So he sent us a selfie from his caravan. All from in the car. So congratulations. He's he's made it. I know that because he sent us a picture, didn't he?
We do know where he is.
Yeah, he did.
Where is he?
Did he say where he was going? I don't know.
No, he's probably just gone around to like the local leisure centre, pitched up in their car park.
They probably told him it was a free holiday, and that was enough. He was there. He didn't really matter.
Yeah. What do you got? Do you reckon he got it on like
he's
taking it the weekend? It's like on sale, or it's a test drive, over the week. Oh, someone's already.
It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Where have you been? Cornwall. I've added some miles to it. Also drained all of the electricity. Oh man!
And you don't want to see the bathroom, right? So let's see who's with us tonight. And first of all, we've got Paul with a quite fantastical weather update where the sun.
Come on, we want to hear what this is like.
Hello from Mercia, where the sun has smashed the storm clouds asunder and is casting benevolent light across the land. I like the way he finishes it with "Death Guard for me tonight."
Benevolent light.
Yeah, benevolent light followed by Death Guard. I think that's a bit of a juxtaposition right there. Red Steph, Epic ACW. Don, Bicker City, having to do a double shifts and make this a good one. 40k terrain on his luxurious work desk tonight. John from Sudfordder, where rainy season has kicked in. He's working on spaceships for Space Battles by Rick Priestley today. Sam Rushmere, hello Sam. Nick Dawson, Trevor Hodgkins, 999 Pardon. Allard is painting 15mm Japanese infantry for Chain of Command this evening. Need a Japanese army painter. He needs an army painter for Saturday. Well, the speed you paint.
Get on a Zoom call.
Yeah, get on a Zoom call. Rich M, he's basing some gnomes and goblins for Thunder under Mount Silence. That sounds like something you'd be up to, Dom, isn't it? Gnomes and goblins.
No, I've seen this. Have you seen this? I thought it might be up your street, Steve. It's a solo game with chunky metal minis, and they look really cool.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's made by the people. Oh God, is it Forest Miniatures? They have another game, which is sort of fantasy. I'll see if I can find it. But yeah, it's a solo game with nice traditional sculpted metal minis.
What? Not gnomes and goblins. That sounds quite cool, actually. Mobile and Hostels working on some late war Empress Germans. Martin from sunny Jersey. Plastic Perries for a Spanish sharp practice is his current project.
I wondered how long before they start popping up.
Yes. Alex is working on the last French cavalry from the epic Waterloo box sets. Alex, you're going to be taking a long holiday when you've finished all of those, because you've been painting those for a good long time now.
There was definitely weird. I could feel the weariness coming out of that message just there. That was enough. It's like,
that's where you get to the end, don't you? And you just find like you're missing just one base or just one.
Yeah. And you turn the house upside down trying to find the damn thing.
Wargaming History. Hello, Matt. Andrew Oates from sunny west coast of Canada. He's currently assembling a Char B1, as well as some more silver bayonet things, werewolves, and a ship's boat. Max Schubert is increasingly chilly Western Cape. He's working on an epic 30 Years War army, only 6 pike and shot left to paint after lots of cuirassiers, cavalry, etc. Oh god, this sounds a bit dangerous. Carl's trying out his own homemade wet palette tonight.
Oh, that does sound dangerous.
Do you need a license?
Just remember, please, just remember to just change it once in a while so it doesn't decay like the one that person.
We've got Mark Hartridge, Andy Stocker. Lynn is here, finishing up some military order knights sculpted by Paul Hicks on this sunny, dry day. Absolutely lovely models and weather. What a combination. Dave Benson.
In the chat too, so
His pirate painting. Craig Williams, 5 a.m. in Tasmania. That's dedication, Craig. That's dedication. The Charmy painter, Grana Prego, Steve Harbour. Evening all, it's a bit warm here. Yeah, Steve's not very far from me, so yeah, I feel the weather pain, mate. I really do. Little Legions, Barnes White, Stoic Steve, Mark from a Sunny Books, Gundoa, Cardboard Fortress, Old School FRP, Robin's here, Andrew JF, Double Dip. We could start. He's here. The real Steve is here.
Oh, cool! Excellent. Oh, there you go. See, that's made my Monday even better. To be fair, you were Double Dip and the real Steve. So
and Cardboard Fortress as well.
I mean, 3 in a row there.
I mean, there's a podcast right there. Those three need to to
Yes.
do a stream. So on the screen you've got Double Dip, Cardboard Fortress, and the real Steve.
Well, James is here, hoping the podcast makes me laugh while I push myself to finish off Durfall's Wolf Tales.
I can't wait to see those, James. So yeah. Oh, James, I need to send you a message as well, which I'll do later.
Remind him that he needs to send you a message.
Yeah. They look very cool. I have a soft spot for the Bernard Cornwell books. So yeah, excellent.
Lionheart, David Baker, Wout Hendrickson, Adam Kirtley, the plebiscide, Shiggles and Spirits. Hello, James. How you doing? Well, mate. Yes, McGowan, evening off from a warm South Wales. David Kerr, Nathan Fishwick, Ed James, Louis Baby. It's doing that thing. I think we're getting to the bottom. Major Clanger, Andy Sykes, evening. First visit for a few months. Day off. Good stuff. Good to see you back, mate. Hey, Paul's here. Hello, my wet chest. Wet?
Oh, it's
wet?
Oh, no.
It did go a bit grey here before. I thought it was going to have a glorious downpour. I was going to go running around the car park.
Just go stand outside.
Yeah. Stand outside. Cool down.
Steve prancing around the car park in his shorts.
I've never pranced anywhere. Well,
you got close to it after that procession.
I'd say I beg to differ.
Colonel 149th Death Corps of Krieg, Yorkshire Dragoon. So Alex is going on holiday next Monday. That's not a coincidence, really, is it? So apparently, it's made by Oakbound Studio. They make Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just about to download some pictures and show them and see if we can convince Steve by the end of the evening to have ordered it.
Well, I've got very low willpower. Low willpower, especially in this weather. Kurt's here, History Boy 32. Not working on anything, just drinking and listening. Good stuff. What a combination.
Good man.
Excellent.
And we're at the bottom of that. So there we go. So, yes, what have we been up to, chaps? Let's have a quick catch. Or not a quick catch. What have we all been? We weren't here last week. So what's
we weren't. And then we've got a week off in a couple of weeks as well.
We are probably part-time at the moment.
Yeah, but then it'll hit right before we get started. Here, I've got these pictures. Just because I saw this and it's not really news because it's been out for a while, so I'm going to put it up now. Okay. So, Steve, this is for you. So this is the set.
Ooh.
That it comes. It's 65 of your English pounds. Only your so the Goblinomic War has begun. Only your squad of elite gnome warriors stands between the city of Mount Silence and the savage horde approaching it from below. The future of gnome kind is at hand. Receive your mission briefing and explore a network of tunnels which shift every time you enter. A horde of enemies awaits you. Their actions are directed by a narrative framework. Use careful strategy to make the best use of equipment and shifting light levels. When danger presses, remember you can tip the delicate balance provided you restore it before all is over. 25 metal miniatures and a host of immersive board tiles. Thunder Under Mount Silence is an engrossing take on the classic genre. Can also be played in versus and team mode. I just got you a couple of, so look, there's, I don't know, I assume that's some kind of goblin. And then there's another kind of goblin.
Hey! They're brilliant.
Yeah. Why did I think of Ken immediately when I saw that?
Yeah, I did as well, actually, funnily enough. No, it's been, I don't know, everything just seems to be busy, especially at work. It's just gone absolutely mental. There's just a lot of archaeology in the country and everyone wants to dig it up and they're not allowed. So I have to do some explaining. I was in a meeting, which I could say, well, I obviously won't say where, but I genuinely had to stand there and explain to someone why they couldn't just dig through the standing Roman like bits of wall that were in front of them. Like it's not even like it was this, below the ground. It's like it's right there. I had to explain. But no, other than that, it's been sorting out the room, having a big clear out ahead of plenty of new projects, and I found lots of things that I forgot about, including loads of I think I said this before, but it carried on. But loads of miniatures from the 80s that I didn't even know I had. But yeah,
that does happen.
Yeah, Miniature wise, I've been a bit slack. I've painted a lot of stuff, but not really finished anything. I've kind of done that thing again. So I'll just show you some work in progress. So these are some of my Barons War knights that are foot knights that are sort of underway. This is my chosen lord for my first retinue, which is Falk de Burr, who is a right arsehole, and that's why I like him. A bit of his, I'm drawn to him. He was a horrible person, and he's ace. he went around. He attacked Ely, destroyed the castle, sacked all the churches, and then made the cathedral pay him 200 pieces of silver to leave. And he was on the king's side. And then essentially everywhere he goes, he basically asks people just pay him to leave. I've got a whole background. I've done quite a lot of research on him, but yes, I've just done a lot of those, lots of shield transfers. And he's weirdly he was to do his badge is the Griffin, or one of his badges is the Griffin, because at this point you haven't got full on livery, you've just got some certain devices associated with certain lords. But to do with where he founded one of his great houses or castles at Fox Hall, which then became Vauxhall, who obviously used the Griffin as their badge still. There you go. Was basically that they're harking back to this right bastard in the Barons War, who then ended up, even after the Barons War, still ended up fighting. Apparently died after eating poisoned fish at the end. But yeah, I use weathering pigments. I use different grades of, so I start with like a really dark one, just like highlight up. But I've got the core set of the Gamer's Grass ones that came out, which I highly recommend. They're really, really nice pigments. So that's all I do. I just work them up, basically. That's it. So that's really all I've done. Apart from, I don't know,
annoyed
seem to be annoyed. Well, that's my
progress.
It's not progress.
You need, see, Martin, you need a good 10-hour Zoom call to get some painting.
That's what you need. You need a bit of time.
So the expert has spoken.
Oh, dear.
I'll schedule one in for you for next week, mate. You can tell everyone.
Thanks.
On the 10-hour.
Thanks.
And maybe we don't have to talk. We can just sit there and,
Oh dear. Well, so, go to Dom. He'll have done loads.
Rest, Dom. Everyone, brace yourselves.
Well, I'm not going to show everything because I did do a little video about it, so I'll just show some of the highlights of stuff that I've been doing. So, I realised it'd been a while. I've been very naughty. I'm sorry, Steve, but it's been a long time since I did.
Hey!
So, I found these kicking around. They were undercoated, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to knock them out. So you've got the, I think it's a hedgehog watch guard or something, watchman, who's wearing some very, very ornate mask.
That's pretty frightening.
That looks like, oh God, what's that remind me of? There was a kid show which had the creatures wore these really freaky masks. I can't remember what it is now. That looks ace though. Really nice.
Really nice.
Good fun. You know how much fun these fellas are.
Oh yes.
Hey.
Oh, they were cool. Awesome.
Nothing. And then a couple of mice, because everyone needs mice in their life.
I love painting the mice.
There might be a shrew or something, but anyway, yeah.
I love the freehand on that shield, Dom. That's beautiful.
Oh, it took me hours, mate. It took me hours.
Did you get a heron to like sit still?
I did.
Garden while you did.
My Google search on herons has exceeded my badgers now, so yeah. But I couldn't find one with a crown on, so I had to go freehand with that. I hope it works. But, yeah, that was obviously transfer, obviously, because my painting, and that dude as well. He's quite heavily armored. Actually, he's got tons of plate mail on.
I was going to say, he's very, very, very armored.
Yeah. He's quite vicious looking, so that was fun. They've been great fun to do. They always are, aren't they? Right? Every time you get a badger out, they're fun.
Every time, always fun to get a badger out.
And I've been playing with the 3D printer.
Oh yes,
which has been fun actually, and I'm quite enjoying it in a way. Although I've come to realise it's not the printer that's the challenge; it's all the slicing stuff and all that malarkey. That's actually the tricky bit.
You haven't had to replace the FEP film yet, have you?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll have that discussion.
No, well, actually, I've cheated. And I've just bought a new replacement.
That's what I did.
That's what I did.
What I did.
I did exactly the same
everyone
thing.
said it's such a nightmare. I thought, I'm not even going to try that.
No, genuinely, I weighed it up, and it's one of the where I do think it's a good thing to be able to do stuff yourself. Anything life, but after doing it once, and the agony and the lost, oh man, I think it shaved about 5 years off my life. So
with me. When I tried to replace mine, I dismantled it all and I was stood there like Alan Partridge in his trouser press. I was like, I can't put this back together, so I just thought, bollocks to it. I'm just going to buy a new one.
Well, I read that and heard that so many times on videos and stuff I was watching. I thought, screw that, I'm not even going to try. So I just ordered a replacement one. So I've got it for when the inevitable happens,
just in case.
So I did clean out the rack the other day before I went, because I was away for a few days. So I thought I'd better do it before I go. Yeah, I am. I'm going to be. I think 3D Wargamer is available, isn't it, or something? That must be
if you are printing loads, I just recommend getting another build plate so you can just swap them over and keep going.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't think I'm going to do that many, to be absolutely honest. But it's just been fun to fiddle around with.
It is. I'm looking at upgrading mine. So I was watching the video with great interest. Well, yeah. Well, I've had mine now for 2 and a bit years, and they're still only good for a certain amount. You did the screen, so it's only going to be a matter of time before the screen goes. And there's some pretty good some deals. But the thing is, now all of the quality is so high on so many printers. But it's really now a race between what extra bits and bobs the different companies are bringing out. So that latest Elegoo one has got like a heated tank to keep it all at 30.
Which is a big win for me.
But the build plate on it's got that weird double. Has yours got that? The double.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah. How easy is it to clean in between?
Actually, at the moment, it hasn't been too bad. But I mean, I haven't been using it extensively. But yeah, I mean, it's been. You can sort of just feed, and what I've been doing is feeding some kitchen roll and what have you through it, and like I've got some of that tough kitchen roll. That seems to do it.
Because you get a little drip tray or something, don't you? To put on it.
Yeah, you get a little add-on
like a bib for a child.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And some fool like me was trying to put it on and then put the lid on and wonder why that didn't work. So anyway, but yeah, it's.
But you can go off people. You can really go off
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah, 4 times. What he hasn't said is that it took him. It's been 2 years.
It's it's been fun actually. I've quite enjoyed it, and I had to stop myself because you get definitely it's like that 3D frenzy, isn't it? I think it happens. You say, I can print this, and I can print this, and I can print this. So I did a few testy things. I did actually haven't put it. Did I show it last week? I can't remember the little Italian tank. Yeah. Oh, we weren't here last week.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, that was really cool, that tank.
Yeah, and then I did these fellas. These are 15mm ancients, and God knows where I got them from. And when I printed them out, I thought, bloody hell, they got tree trunks like Fatima Whitbread. They looked enormous. And then, sorry, old school reference there. And but actually, they're painted up really nicely as a sort of a couple of units that were very easy to do, and they didn't need supporting, so I didn't have to break off any flipping things. That was cool.
Very nice.
And then you said to me, Martin, I should try that one, so I did. There's the monk.
Yeah, he's awesome. That one, isn't he? Did you did you just do them both at 100%, or did you?
I did them exactly as they were. Yeah. I didn't. That's the bit I haven't mastered yet. Is changing sizes yet, because it's not quite so easy.
He looks cool. I mean, he's used in so many games.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Very nice. Love the horse.
They're on the same plate.
Yeah, the horse is great.
The horse is brilliant. Yeah, I really like this. Not sure about the sword on that guy. He can fight round corners by the look of it.
It just looks like he's from Conan or something with some kind of serpent sword.
So they were all printed. So that was kind of fun. And I did some other bits and bobs as well, which I'll show later on if I get a chance.
Yes, I have. Yes, you do, don't you? Because you sent them to me before to print.
I bought some when he was doing a sale, because at that stage I was thinking about getting a printer, and then I went, stupid Don, don't do that. So I've still got.
Don't I'll because obviously I've still got all those files because I've already done them onto the slicer. So if I send you the files, they'll be pre.
Oh,
You can
perfect.
just open them and they're on the slicer, or they'll just open onto the slicer.
Love it.
So,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
And I thought about doing some more epics. So
Oh, crikey.
a load of ghouls.
De Gaulle.
Yeah, it's a big old Gallic war band there. So they were actually quite enjoyed doing those.
That's
for
awesome. Just makes me. There's a new Asterix series on Netflix, brand new one.
Is there?
Well, it's Asterix in the Big Fight, but it's brand new, and my daughter's been watching it, and she's in love with it. It's fantastic. So
I love that series, and a few slingers as well to go with it. So
hey.
yeah, that's what I finished. There's lots of other things half done. So but yeah, all good. All good. What about you, Steve? I see you've been into even more weirdness.
Yes. It's funny you mentioned Burrows and Badgers. I was having a dig around behind my desk, and I found 2 Burrows and Badgers figures I forgot I bought. So this week I'll be painting it's an otter Landsneck with a big Zweihander. So I'm going to be painting that.
Oh, I've got that figure.
I think it's a
colour scheme you going for with it.
All right, I'm going to get Otter envy if we keep on doing this. I don't want to...
Blue and red, I think. And I've also got a Shrew Pirate, which I'm really looking forward to painting as well.
Oh, nice.
It's got a bandana and a throwing knife. Can't go wrong with that. What have I done, Tim? I've not actually painted a miniature in over 2 weeks. I've become slightly obsessed with this scenery setup that I'm doing. So in the last one, I spent ages building and painting and scratch building some scatter. That's a lot of minis.
It is.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Recommendation for Alex. Good.
Just the most faithful adaptation. It's a bit of a Dune, Game of Thrones.
So I've been building scatter, and then I was gonna build my own or paint my own MDF buildings, and then I thought I'm not going to do that. I'm going to buy some from War Bases, get them, the tabletop ready ones.
Yeah.
So they arrived on Saturday last week. I was also painting scatter from War Base as well, some of their resin and wooden stuff, and I'm almost done. So on Saturday afternoon, I decided to put them all together on the table, and this is what I've come up with.
Oh, nice. That's very cool.
Very good.
Yeah, I've been searching Amazon for toy cars. I saw a digger today that I'm going to be buying as well, just because it looks brilliant. But yeah, they're the building some War Bases. Those barrels on the left are they're actually meant to be 1/48 scale from Mini Art, but they're not. They're 156. They look so small.
Can we start a little James? A task for you, mate. Can we start a list of phrases we didn't expect Steve to ever say? I've had my eye on a digger. Is one that I'm going to put down on the thing. Yeah.
So there's another setup. So they're the War Bases buildings.
Very nice.
The fence I actually made myself, and I'm going to make another 6 pieces of that this week. It's a UPS delivery van.
As you can't be, because you can see the bloody thing.
So see the things in the middle, the cable.
They're nice.
Yeah, they're from War Bases. They're a really, really cool little MDF.
They do them as well, do they? Fantastic.
Yeah, really good. The others are just.
That would be a great setup for Spectre as well.
Yeah. I mean, any sort of near future or modern gaming is what I'm going for. So there's a few more. So there's more fences. 2 more. There's 2 vans. A watchtower. That's the watchtower you get in the Strontium Dog starter box. I actually give it a new coat of paint and a bit of a better base. There's another closer look at those cable things, the cable drum holders, and the skip on the right hand side. Again, that's from War Bases. I just put some balsa wood cut-offs in there.
That's another one, James. The skip, please.
The skip. I've also got a dumpster as well. So there you go. That's
they are awesome, mate. Really good.
Really like that. Very cool.
And that's
they're
brilliant. They say just save yourself so much time and putting them together.
Tim would like to know where you got the wire mesh from.
It's from Amazon. Somebody asked me the question on the Facebook group when I did the I'll put a picture. I'll tag you in later, Tim, so you can see it. It's just metal mesh off Amazon. It's very cutting. It is. you're taking your hands into your life, because I've shredded my hands cutting them. But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I'm really chuffed with how it's turned out so far. So what's next? I've got some more fences to make. I made this as well. I posted it in the group. It's a thingy, a toxic pool.
Oh, nice.
Toxic waste.
with some knackered fences. And I just keep finding bits and pieces to add to it. So I've seen this digger, this toy car on Amazon that I'm going to be buying.
Mondo's.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about Skytrex. Thank you. I'll have to check that out. I'm always on the lookout for little bits and pieces of scattered. Warbases do this brilliant one. It's an old sofa with a mattress over it.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah,
and it painted up so well. But I've really enjoyed that. So I'm hoping to get it all on the table and have a couple of games of Rogue Warriors at the weekend. So that's what I went up to. I've got a couple of Burrows and Badgers things to paint. I've got a few. I've started these Raumjäger from War Games Atlantic, and I've got some more 10mm stuff to paint. So I've got quite a bit. It's weird going back to painting miniatures after 2 weeks of just working on scenery. But it's been interesting, and like I say, get it all set up. Do you have a plan in your mind what you want something to look like? I've just got this look of this industrial complex, like a factory or a workshop, either on a 2x2 or a 3x3 board. But really looking forward to it, and it's just been a nice change working on some scatter scenery.
Yeah,
I've really enjoyed it.
And is it as good as you hoped?
Yes. I was going to say, getting those the buildings from Warbases just made it for me, because the way they're done, it just looks so good. I would never have got them to look like that if I'd have tried painting them. Did a lot of absolute garbage. But yes, that's what I'm working on at the moment as well. Yes, I've just seen Alex's comment, and I'm not going to put it on.
he's right.
He is right. No,
Yeah.
Right, on to tonight's talking point. So, what makes a good rule book? And again, I mentioned at the beginning, and it's just a caveat, we're not talking about the rules here. It's a given that the rules are in the book, so we're not going to be mentioning that. The reason that this came about was I was having a bit of a tidy for my shelves in my living room where I've got all my War Games books, and I just noticed how different they were compared to each other. You know, some are proper high value, some aren't. Some are packed full of illustrations, some are just packed full of diagrams. I just thought, as a war gamer, what makes a good rule book for you?
I will start with
index. Yes.
Some sort of index of some sort of referenceable list of where frigging rules are.
In-depth content or glossary.
Exactly.
Yes.
Either or, doesn't matter. But when I want to find out about what a shaken unit can do, I want to be able to find to turn to page, whatever it is, and it will be there.
An index.
There you go.
Everybody.
How many rules though don't do it? It's just like, or they deliberately hide it from, so they'll send you to a page and it's not the right one, or there'll be 15 pages for for various versions. For like shaken unit, it'll be page 15 to 23, 5 to whatever, and then 20, and it's only one of them really matters. Anyway, I'm on the rant. Sorry. But yes, definitely an index or glossary.
So when I posted up in the Facebook group, the amount of people that said index. I mean, I know a lot of rule books these days do have them, but is that not? I take it that's not always been the case.
Bolt action is an absolute right. Opinions on the game aside. No, it's not right. Opinions on the game aside, bolt action was, I found, one of the most frustrating rule books. Because it was the sort of the mini size of it, and I just could never find anything. There was no index in the content. It was just that was a good example, and then they started putting indexes in later on. I don't know if it's in the new edition. I don't know if they've put an index in the latest one.
I don't know. I can't remember last time I looked at it. But when I play Bolt Action, I use my my tablet version, so I can sort of do a bit of a search rather than just stood there.
You shouldn't need to do that, should you? I mean, it should be easy to find. Yeah.
And I guess lots of rule books that should do it.
So Dom, think back to. I know we always call you the veteran gamer. But how prevalent were they back in sort of when you first started getting into the hobby? Were they there, or was it just?
I don't think that's changed particularly. I think you've always had some that were very good at it, and then some that were absolutely shockingly bad at it. And I don't know why that is. But yeah, I don't think that's a particular thing that you always used to have good index back in the day. I mean, obviously they were black and white because we didn't have colour in those days. But yeah, it was
on papyrus,
vellum and papyrus. Oh, look at that! There you go.
Mobile and Hostile has confirmed that Bolt Action version 3 does have an index.
Excellent.
I think it astounds me, and I'm sure we'll get onto this, but how many times that you that's interesting from Steve. Can you see that? Or is it up?
Oh yeah, about the end. Yeah.
Priestley once said the problem with indexes is that they're the last thing to be done, and the print deadlines can usually mean they were left out. I mean, I can understand that, but it's a bloody stupid thing to do. To me, it's just like, no, non-negotiable. We should need index there for sure.
So you're saying everything is trimmings on a good rule set and nothing at all good, say for poor rule set. Yeah, but that's the rules. That's not. But that's not true because everything is because if a good because there's plenty. I've got some good games, but the rule books are terrible. So by the time it just like oh god, it's such a I enjoy this game, but it's such a ball ache.
The trimmings can actually kill a bad trimmings if you don't can actually kill a good rule set if you can't find your way around them.
Just want to pick you up.
Well, that's a warning for Paul. Is he on next week? I better come up with some really nasty questions for him. I'm going to work him over next week, you bugger. Yeah, I do think it. Maybe it is the fact that it was the last thing to do and they were sort of left out, but that's not a reason to me. You've got to have an index or a glossary or some kind of way around the rules. Makes no sense at all. I can't remember. There was a really good rule set. I can't remember what it was called now, which one it was, but they actually sort of color coded everything as well, so that you could find your way from different sections. Like movement was all one color.
Baron's War's just done that.
Does it?
I realised that when I was flipping through it, the new one, on the panels up here, I was like, oh, it's very pretty. And then I realised that because the movement action tokens are green, so all the movement stuff is green, and whatever.
So that shows that somebody's thought about it properly and actually made it easy. So you know that if you know green is movement, you know to go hunting in the rules for the green bit. I think that's really clever. And I actually think it's lazy to leave them out. Whatever Mr. Priestley says, and all hail to him as the guru of rule sets. I just think that's wrong. You should still have them. It doesn't matter if it's late. Personally, there you go. Mini rant.
Okay. So we all agree that a good rule book should have an index. That's the sort of bare minimum it should have is an index.
Yeah, it's one of the things I do first in any kind of when I get a new book, if I'm doing a review or anything like that, is check for an index. If not an index, a in-depth contents page that's got more than just combat, range, morale. It actually breaks it down, because sometimes they can just obviously be repeats of each other, and or just at least just a glossary is nice sometimes.
Yeah,
especially if there's I mean, if you've got a game that's period or culture specific, then having a glossary can just be really helpful, because I don't care then if the I think it's quite good when a rule book uses specific terms, like the Japanese one for pike and shot, but there is a for Luddites like me in cases, there is just a glossary something there.
This is what it means, Dimbo.
This is what this means. Yeah,
I agree. I think I think anything. I think the problem is, and I think sometimes maybe this is a wider point that we get onto in other bits, but sometimes there's a tendency for some rule systems to assume far too much knowledge and awareness on the part of the person playing it. And I don't know whether that's because the people who wrote it have play tested it with a confined group of people that have always played it, so they know how it works. But surely during the play testing, you pass it on to somebody and go, right, here's your rule book. You know, what are we missing? And it should be pointed out straight away. Surely most people would say, well, actually, I can't find my way around the rules because there's no index and there's also no logic to how the rules are laid out. Some rule books are very cleverly done. They, actually, some of the Black Powder and Hail Caesar rules are pretty good at this. It runs in the sequence to the turn. So you've got what's first in the turn will be in the beginning of the book, and you work way through, and it runs. Now, they don't always follow through quite right in all of that, but that makes sense. So, I think that's a good idea. But I do wonder, it's just the worst ones are the rules where people are just, there's a group of mates that have always played the rules and they've shared it with another group of mates who all play the rules, and they almost forget about the fact that somebody else who's never played the rules before has got to pick them up and work out what the hell they do with it.
Okay, so we've got index down. I can certainly see, why that is required. Is there anything else that you think is necessary? So you've probably got the stuff that you need in there, and then you've got all the nice to haves. So what would you, after an index, what would you say would be the next sort of necessary thing?
Diagrams and combat examples. Well, just diagrams. Okay, so I'm gonna give, and that doesn't necessarily just have just simple things, because some people are, they work better off of those kind of things. So this is the Midgard rulebook. Now the Midgard book, and I think Dom, you said something similar, has an index. I think, and it's got, even for when you get into the movement phase, which it's just a very straightforward. There's a single page that just essentially demonstrates on one page just each of the moves that a unit can make, because you are stuck on certain patterns. So you've just got this page. Look, all that box there summarizes everything really, really nicely, concisely, and anytime we've needed to reference it, we've just gone to that diagram and it's answered everything. So I think diagrams are worth their weight, quite frankly.
I think those rules
they can settle a lot of arguments for
a long, long time, because I know when we played the game, every time you went, oh, I wonder what happens in this situation, there was a section that explained exactly how that should work, and generally had examples of how it should be played. And I went, okay, that's easy then, isn't it? I mean, scuppered our fun of having an argument over the rules, but it was all very clear. But definitely.
Yeah, I'll admit, I do. If I get a rule book, I do look at the movement, for example, or combat, and nice. Another good rule book is the Dead Man's Hand. The diagrams and that clearly explain movement and combat and cover. I think it's done really well. It's just, I think it's not a necessary, but it's certainly a nice to have. And I think it enhances the look of a rule book, and it certainly makes the rule book easier to get into. I think if you can look at an example of around a combat or movement or morale or something like that, if you've got example, and they don't have to be massive works of art. They can be really, really basic diagrams.
Yeah. Well, sometimes even having the pictures of the figures set up in a situation. I think WAB was always good for that. From what I remember, they always had, you'd have a combat example, and it would show you the figure layout, orientation of the figures and all that kind of stuff, which was really clever. I thought it worked really well. And then, at least you're coming at it from a better angle.
Because I was going to come on to that. So Andy's just put pictures of figures. That certainly goes a long way to making a rule book a bit better, doesn't it? If you've got some nice eye candy.
Pictures in the books are almost they're not a necessary thing, but they're a nicety. But when they've become a way of illustrating something which I think is a necessary, like explaining and showing how things examples, then it does the function really well. But just putting pretty pictures in definitely enhances a rule book. But having them there to actually function, to show you how the rule plays or whatever, is even better, I think, personally.
So Dave said diagrams are part of the rules and don't count as trimmings to him.
Well, what if they don't have diagrams then? I've got rule books that don't have any diagrams in them. It's annoying. So I don't know. If we're going to say trimmings, obviously I don't think we're going to argue about language on here. But there's I've got plenty of rule books that don't have diagrams. I've got plenty of rule books that do. I would say the ones that have diagrams, I mean, like this beast here, are to me are just slightly better in my opinion. There you go. I'll hang my hat on it.
Yep.
I can certainly see. I mean, they're not. I wouldn't. I'm trying to explain. For me, I like them to be in there because I'm a visual learner. I learn by seeing things. Mm-hmm. And if you've got diagrams in there or anything that's going to make it easier for me to learn and grasp that game, yeah, I'm all for that. Even if it's really really basically done, I don't mind as long as it's there. What about language?
What, swearing?
As in, no, as in plain English. Do you like it to be the language used to be really, really plain, really basic? Just this is this, this is this, this is this, this is how you shoot, this is how you move, or do you like a bit of flavor, a bit of character to the way the book's written?
So interesting.
I've never really thought of that.
No, I don't know. I never.
I mean, you get those rule books, don't you, where you'll have like a sidebar where there's some flavorful text describing how things are happening, maybe in a more sort of period colloquial way. And then underneath it, you'll have a summary just in bullet points.
Yeah,
like do this, do this, do this, and do this. Yeah. I haven't really thought about that before. That's quite a good one. I'm not really considering.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, to be absolutely honest. I think sometimes I get a bit frustrated when, so take a point the supplement Martin was talking about that Warlords have done for Samurai. Mm-hmm. It does use language related to the period, but it also explains, for those who don't understand it, how what it actually means. And I actually like that. I think that makes sense to me, and I think I would be frustrated if it was entirely in period language all the way through. Mm-hmm. But that's because I don't know enough about the period.
Yeah,
so maybe it would be different. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about that. I get, that one's not really bothered me too much. I don't know. I've never really thought about it. I would rather have more pictures than flavorful text, if that's your option. I mean, if I want, right, so we're all going to end up paying. I mean, rulebook prices are obviously going up, and of course you buy like PDF. You could. Yeah, well, there you go. But I think if you can have well written rules that are illustrated well, that are proofread and referenced and indexed, then why would you not want all of it? I don't know why we I mean, the bare minimum, yes, I want a play tested thought out rule set that somewhat is trying to reflect the period, if we're talking historicals, but it's setting, or is at least setting out to complete its, I don't know, criteria for whatever it is it's trying to achieve, battles in space or whatever. But if you can enhance that by putting pretty pictures and and diagrams or drawings or line art or whatever in it, then just go for it.
I think the rule writers are missing a trick if they don't put pretty pictures and illustrations and make it look attractive, because there's so many rule books out there, so many different systems out there, that's part of what you want to have to attract people in, where people go, oh yeah, I like that picture, that I can aspire to have a game that looks like that and play it. So if you don't do it, you miss the trick, personally.
I think one of the nicest books that I've, as soon as I picked it up, I opened it, was the layout and everything was Battle Group. Really well presented book.
Not NOM 68.
Yes, that was very good as well. Yes,
with the good use of like period photos and stuff as well. That's very cool.
Again, though, you go back in the day, because I'm going to play that card now. Back in the day, the early rule books often, and not every set, but there were a lot of rule books that were basically just looked like they'd been home photocopied. They had very little illustrations. They were no real pictures. If you did, they were black and white. So I am joking about black and white, but I do think that but I don't know that they were visually appealing, and I think for people today, generally, you want that eye candy, you want that attraction, you want to know that it's going to be fun and look pretty.
You want a good looking book.
Yeah.
But that's what getting away, I guess.
Good looking book, I do.
Dom, have you ever seen the Space Weirdos rulebook?
Drink? No, I haven't, mate. No.
I just happen to have a copy here.
Oh, look at that! He's got it. There you go. That's exactly what the old rule book's at least. I've got piles on my knee.
And it's A5. It's stapled. It's black and white.
And that's how they all came.
And I love that. The way it's done. I mean, it's been done in that way to look like a zine. So I think when Casey Garsky did it, I think because of the way the format of the game is, that's how he wants it to look at that A5 size. But I absolutely love it looking like that. It's I think it's a fantastically cool.
I've shown these off before, so these were some of the most popular rule sets you used to get back in the day. Wargames research group, ancient rules. Not a single image in here. It's just black and white tables and graphs. But that's what all the rule books look like. So you didn't think anything different.
What would happen if so imagine if someone had an idea for it.
How appealing that is.
Yeah. Do you think that would
beautifully appealing?
Do you think that would work these days? If someone released a new rule book and it was formatted like that, do you think people would look at it and go, I'm not even entertaining the idea of reading this?
I think they'd read it, but I think it'd get a lot of stick. If they had to read it. I mean, I can understand. It depends who's putting it out. Let's face it. If it's an established company and they've got the ability to put something out, with all of that stuff in it, then I think the question would be, why aren't they? Although it depends obviously on how much they're charging for it. No one expects like a free PDF to come with as we're saying, all the trimmings. But if people are starting to pay, then they want a little bit more. And I think that's fair enough.
I think the rules would have to be bloody good. I mean, if they were really, really good rules that played a fantastic game, then you've got a chance with them. But I genuinely think you're going to struggle as a rule writer to produce them. That's not saying I'm sure there are plenty of examples out there where they are like that. People quite happily play them every week and what have you. But I think you just, I don't know. I think you're just going to struggle a bit.
You need a few more pretty pictures.
I think so. I think you do. It's I'm sure we'll get onto the other stuff, but it's like some of the other things you need around it. But I just think, maybe that's part of the sort of change in the attitude around the hobby now, is that people, the games are much quicker play. They're much more rule
I
light.
say it. I thought you were going to say streamline then. Oh, that was going to come
No,
up.
I was going to say that. No, because I don't think they are. But they're definitely, and I think the I can do the flippery around it is important. I think that's what people love.
Yeah.
I mean, we collect rule books, whether we play them or not, doesn't really matter because they're quite fun to read through and have a look at.
Sells models as well.
It does.
You know, especially if you've got your own range, it sells them, doesn't it? You want to show it off at every opportunity.
No, I understand. I mean, I still want to pick up a copy of Laserburn by Brian Ansell. That was also about 1980, and it's sort of a forerunner to Rogue Trader 40K, the first edition, and I've seen it played and it plays quite well, but visually it's charts and charts and charts. But I think it's got an absolute charm to it. I absolutely love the way that it's laid out and the way it looks. Whether it'd sell well these days, looking like that, I don't know. But it was written over 45 years ago, so of its time. But yeah, it's definitely Laserburn. Yeah, I've seen a couple of battle reports and it looks interesting, but I can certainly see the how it could be quite frustrating playing it as well. But I just think it's got such a nostalgic look to it, and the way it plays it's got that nostalgia feel to it.
Actually, Steph makes a good point, and I think this is very true. So in the olden days, rules were cheap. You could buy a set, see if you like them or not. Nowadays, you have to be sure you do.
Oh God, yeah.
I think it's true. I mean, if you're dropping 30 quid or whatever on a rule book, and then there's 3 supplements to go with them that are 25 quid a pop, you kind of want to make sure they're right. Whereas, most people, you're not going to get the casual gamers, are you? Whereas if you pick up a full scrap printed one that costs 5 quid from,
here's
I think that's what.
Sorry, I was just going to say, go on.
Go on.
I was going to say, should companies, established companies, and then release versions of the rules? Because you can often find them. So I've got, now this is an RPG, but Morkborg, that rule book is insane. It's won so many awards. It hurts my brain looking at that rule book because it's so pretty. All right, it's absolutely nuts. It's ace. I encourage people to go look at it. Just on their website, it just confuses me, and it's ace. It's very evocative. Then basically, they have a free version, which is all of the rules, but just in a plain text PDF that you can download. So if you want the pretty rule book, buy it and you get all of that, and it's well laid out. But also they've made the rules completely, just the rules, none of the fluff, everything available as a plain text PDF for free for those people that want it. Now there are other companies, so there's a couple of people who make light versions of their games free. Do you think that that's something that should be more commonplace among established companies? Because one thing I'll say, GW, their rules are free.
Yeah,
you can. I've got the Age of Sigmar rulebook somewhere. Actually, I think I've read it. Like I just printed it off, and then when I realized it was going to be like 300 pages, I click cancel. So I thought it was only like 8 pages long or something. But that's something I do. I commend them on. They all their rules are for. You can get the core rules, or you could. I don't know if it's still the case. You could last year. They're free online. If you want like a very basic value, it's the same. The plebiscite hates the walk, but I find it. I usually I'm the other way around. I find it amazing, but then I like chaos in my game, not on my painting table. But yeah, I think that's something that more people could do. I don't see, why you can't put a basic set of rules. Impetus did it for a long time.
Someone just mentioned Impetus.
Yeah. But what do you think? Do you think that's something that should be explored more? Because it hooks people in. Because people, if they enjoy it, will then pay for the heavier version.
So if I can get a free just basic PDF of the rules, play through that game, I'm more likely to go out and then spend money on a nice pretty rule book. Whereas if I just download a free PDF and the game's garbage, I'm not out any money, and I'll just move on to a new game. But I think that'll be it's a really good way of getting people into a game. I mean, how many of us buy a rule book because it looks pretty? I mean, that's another thing. I think I'd be, if the PDF worked and I like the rules and I wanted a nice leather-bound rule book with the ribbon and all kinds of that malarkey, I'd shell out for it.
So I don't know. I would, if I'm honest. I mean, I can see the reason for it, the appeal of it.
Mm-hmm.
But how many times? So, ask a question, and maybe people in the audience as well. But if you've got a rule book and it's got advanced rules, optional rules, and everything else within it,
mm-hmm.
how many times or how many games into the game do you actually then start to play those additional rules? And how many times do you spend, I don't know, months and months and months just playing the basic set? I know for myself, I may play one, depending on the rule set. So there's different ones, but I'm just being generic here. But I would play the basic set maybe once, and then we start to add in all probably too soon. But that's how I play. We want to put all the different things in, and I don't know, just a light version to me. I don't know that I like it particularly. I can see the reasoning, but I'm not sure I'd want it personally.
But if it's the core system and you were just trying it for free online, so you could say, right, I want to see if the core system, like, I mean, would you have detested SPQR?
I'm more likely to look at people's games online and see whether the way they play it. There was a rule set a Second World War rule set that I had that I was very excited about, and I bought, and I watched Gamer Graham play a game of it, and I sold it halfway through the through his video. Not because of his video, it just I did not like the way the game played. So to me, I'll do that. It's just
the power of social media.
It was very much so. I dumped that one straight out. But yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know.
Had you just bought the basic rule book, or did you bought any of the trimmings or anything?
I bought the trimmings. I bought all the aids for it.
Right.
So yeah, I did. Yeah. Because I thought I believed all the fluff, so I believed all the stuff that was out there about it, and it wasn't for me.
So even if you'd have got that on a free PDF with the basic, lovely stuff.
If I've got the basic rules, I don't know, because I probably would have. Yeah, maybe that would have saved me from losing a $5 or something that I lost. But
I suppose it's just like playing a demo game, though. When you play a demo game, people don't usually add in all the, all the complicated advanced rules. You play it, and then and then based on that, you pick the game up. A lot of the time, if I'm running demos, I don't chuck in, all the advanced stuff.
No, Carl, it wasn't that one.
Keep going.
It wasn't that one. No,
I know what it is.
You know what it is.
See, that's what I mean. With I buy some of my Rules to War Games Vault, and I mean you can get some absolute total bargains on there. The regular sales, a couple of dollars for a rule set. And if I download the PDF, I've not broken the bank. So if I really like that, I will then spend a bit more extra money to have it professionally printed and bound, and do it that way. Because I think War Games Vault is great for that, because all the games are on their own PDF. So yeah, that's really useful. That's where I got that weirdo space game from. Right, it's 9:05. Is it time for a bit of news?
Oh my goodness! Yes, it is. Oh, we got Crackcon news first.
Yes,
we do have Crackcon news. Shall I play it?
Yes.
Yeah, play it. Go on then.
Right. You might. This is just a warning. You might just want to turn your headphones. This is 10 seconds.
Turn your
volume down a little bit. I was in a bad mood when I exported this, so it reflected it. So it's just a chance for it down. But yeah, and then we'll have a chat. off. Hang on. All right. Yes.
Dear. That was loud.
I did say. There we go. Right. So yes, we can say after a lot of sorting out and a few things that the next Crackcon 6, to Helen Crack,
Derby, as everyone knows it.
Yeah, will be. The tickets are going to be on sale next Tuesday, not the Monday, but Tuesday. And we will post all the details about that and the timings and everything. Just also like to say a huge shout out to Matthew Klein's awesome artwork that he's done for us. It will be available on shirts and other things. And yes, but James, this was the name even before you were.
Yeah, we had this name
about doing NARM. So the fact that you're looking at doing NARM is ace. So yeah, it's going to be. It's going to be great. So, so he just said he didn't think it was going to be that loud. I was typing, and even that made me joke. I was in a particularly rotten mood, but yeah. So it's going to be ace. But no, Matthew, thank you very much. So, first of all, tickets. Price of tickets. Dom, there's a
20 of your British pounds. It will be. This time we've put out a little bit, but 20 quid. Reminder that all the money will go to charity. So any kind of not all the money, but all the profits, everything we make out of it goes to charity. But yeah, and that will include a pizza on the day, as usual, in the best tradition of Crackcon. So, all the fun games.
Absolutely. And the charity that we have chosen for this year, Dom?
Yeah, so we're going to, in memory of Mr. Sawyer, we are going to donate the money, all the proceeds, to a brain cancer charity. Because we thought, given the sad news of his passing last year, that would be a good way of honouring him and everything he did for the hobby. And give some money back. So all the proceeds will go there. So absolutely give generously when the time comes.
So that means our much loved Crackcon raffle is returning, and so because I have already received quite a few donations for that, so that will be going as well. So just to remind people, if you are going to donate, it's gratefully received. Those unused boxes that you don't want, preferably complete, please. Or if you are models or armies that you don't want, or things that are painted, not what Ken does, and we try to police him as much as possible, which is just throwing any old shit he wants to get rid of in there. That goes. Now, in terms of the games, so we have finalized a draft list of all the games. Pretty much everybody who's emailed us has got in. You should all have received an email or are going to receive an email in the next day or two. So if it hasn't come in and you've said you want to put on a game, don't worry, that email will be in the next couple of days. Wait at least until sort of like Thursday before you send us an email. Okay. If there's anyone who've missed, I apologize. We have held a couple of tables back just in case I've been stupid, which is highly likely, and we've missed it. And we have a proper mix. We've got everything from sci-fi, World War I, World War II, Napoleonics, fantasy, War of the Roses, and just plenty of stuff. So it's a really, really diverse mix. There will hopefully be the return of the painting competition with a little bit more time this time to sort out entries, and we're probably going to be sticking with the free categories. Maybe there'll be room for something else a bit silly in there, but the free categories of best single miniature, best unit, and then was like best large scale things like a tank or a monster or something like that. And of course, prizes will be given out for all of that. I'm just.
There will be dice, Kevin, at some point.
It
We'll work
requires,
that-
yes. Whoops. And sorry. Right. So no. Right. The pizza options, James. Do not do what you did last time. There is a strict policy on pizzas this time, and anyone who posts up a menu and starts putting in random combinations, that will be going on a run, and it won't be.
We'll put the management onto them. Basically,
Yeah,
that's
it.
Be
That's it. So there's going to be a point soon where once the tickets are on sale, we'll hand that over to Haley and you will receive emails. Lesson learned. I'm glad you've learned it. It's been nearly 20 years, mate, and I've not learned mine. On the Friday night, the Tiger, not the Tiger Bar. Jesus.
Tiger Bar.
We are not going to the Tiger Bar on Friday.
Tiger Bar, not the Tiger Bar. The Tudor Bar at the Old Bell Hotel is booked. So we have got that. So courtesy of Tony, who sorted that out for us. Thank you very much. So we will be in there for pre-gaming day drinks, some board games, and I dare say that you will be harassed for raffle tickets. Excellent stuff. Just trying to think, was there other things? T-shirts.
Oh, just on the game things. So anybody who has said they're going to run a game and has been selected for it, don't need to buy your own ticket. That will come. Well, you will buy it, but we'll do it directly.
Your ticket's reserved.
And your ticket is reserved. That's the one I meant to say.
Dom, the harbinger of the wallet, will be in touch.
I will.
He'll be in touch, and we send out our, I was about to say our enforcer, but that's Ken. There will be dice, there will be t-shirts, there will hopefully be mugs, and they will all be. I'm going to put it back up again just because it's it's
awesome.
It's so
you've
cool.
done a brilliant job.
He's done an awesome piece of work. Now there will be t-shirts and stuff available to people, which does also just have the To Hell and Crack logo on it for other stuff as well. Now the t-shirts are being done slightly differently. We're using a different company. We're going to try. We'll see how they turn out. I'm going to trial a few and just see if they're all right. And that's simply because the current ones we do are great. They ship them out to you guys, but Crackcon only makes about £2 off of each t-shirt, which then goes in towards charity. Whereas if we essentially deal with the t-shirts the same way that we do the dice, which is that we take the orders, we order them in, then there would be more to go into the pot for charity. It's just easier, and less of it goes to the corporation and goes for charity. So we will try it out and see how it works, and then obviously there'll be color choices. I've been told I'm not allowed to put the Speedo option on there, which is an option apparently.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want one? Do you want a Speedo says To Hell and Crack on it?
Do they do a mankini? I'm just asking for a friend.
Well,
really.
Is this friend Ginger and on a caravan holiday?
Oh my word! It's a mental
we absolutely cannot wait. We will be putting everything on up on the group. So Dom will post up a link to when everything is going on sale, and it's going to be awesome. Are we expecting a flood? So like I say, I will be in touch over the next few days for those people at games. I'll be posting up the games list once everybody who has said they will play a game, who I haven't spoke to yet, has confirmed that they are happy to do so, and there are some corkers. And
we should have some special guests as well coming along as well.
We should do so. Fingers crossed. That would be awesome as well. And of course, it's at Boards and Swords, who are our happy little sponsor here. So it's nice to go and give them, some patronage. Is there anything else? I can't really think.
Gotta say, it's. I want to add that it's terrifying. It's only 5 months away.
Yes.
Yes. I'm just more worried that it's May. It's so much. It's cranky. It's May. 5 months. I've got 5 months to paint about another 25 buildings. And yes, I know I can borrow buildings, but it wouldn't be Crackcon if there wasn't the pressure of to get there. So once the post goes up about the games, all you got to do is comment on it. It's most of them are first come, first serve. There are a whole selection of drop-in games. So I know like Paul Richardson's got like a Cthulhu 7 TV game. Mike Peters is hoping to be back, putting on more ruckus. I think there's going to be some more time on there, and Ken might even run a game. But we shall see. So anyway, if you've got any questions, pop them in an email or put them in the comments. We're really looking forward to it. So can't wait.
It's going to be very, very good.
It is. All other news is now nothing.
Moot. It's all irrelevant.
After our stunning video presentation as well. No.
Have we actually got any other news?
None of consequence after that.
No, nothing matters. No.
I've got a couple of things.
It's a couple of things. It's quite quiet at the moment. It seems to have gone. I suppose summer's heading. Maybe I don't know, but it's a bit odd. Do you want to do yours?
Okay. I've got some War Machine stuff for you, Steve. And I put this up. Now I can't entirely remember what this is called, but I genuinely think it's called something like Boom Boom McBoom. Like really? Hang on, it's a Signar. I mean, admittedly, I put it in here just because of the name. It is called Boom Boom McCoy. Sorry, Boom Boom McCoy. I think Boom Boom McBoom would have been the smartest. So anyway, there's that. And then they carrying on to put out the sort of more sort of K-Door stuff and starter set. So it is nice to see. I'm not going to play it anymore, but it is nice to see that it's potentially getting a bit of love.
It is.
I did enjoy it when I played it. Then Spectre have released some. This is just one, but basically they've released a lot of packs of Guy with Dog. So I did see. I think they had some previews of these at Salute. And I if they'd had the starter sets left for Spectre, I could have been very easily convinced to pick one up because their stall had a lot of nice stuff on it. It really did, but it resisted. So there's that coming out now. The next one is a Middle-earth strategy battle game, and this is for the forces from Rune, which are some sort of battle lizards, drakes. I mean, they look like lizards, but they just look really. I just think they look really dopey.
They don't look the most
fearsome thing, do they?
Yeah. Look at the tactical rocks on them.
I think it'd be more if just one of them was sunning itself on the rock and it was chilling out. Anyway, they're out for the Middle-earth strategy battle game. And now the last thing, I can't decide about these. Okay, so I mean I understand and I think the concept is quite cool, but I'm not so sure about the execution. Now, we put up Conquest stuff quite a lot because they do big, giant, cool models that cost you. So this is, I can't remember the name of the faction, but it's essentially origami warriors. Okay. I get it. I think these are correct.
Defeat them with fire, don't you? Or blow them over.
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, I'm not. It wasn't really that bit I was worried about. I sort of get it. I quite like the one on the right. Yeah. I understand the concept and I understand what they're going for. I just don't know, and I was just a bit surprised because I genuinely find that a lot of their models, especially their take on orcs, is quite unique. No, all right, yeah.
Tell us what you think, Robin.
Another impartial review there from Robin.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we shall leave that there.
I don't think I'll be buying them anytime soon. Just saying.
That middle one, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. I was going to be stuck. I'm going to be imprinted.
I don't know. Maybe I need to see them done by somebody else or painted up differently or something. But currently, considering I think what we've seen before, which is like orcs on dinosaurs or like little packs of there's some quite cool stuff with like G's and like that. Yeah, that one might be a little bit fold under pressure. Dom, over to you.
Okay, let's get a bit of decorum in the house, shall we? Where is it? Oh, wait, there you go. Some rather nice steel fist, 15th century Swiss.
Ah.
They look very nice. So the whole, I think, 4 new packs he's bringing out. And they do look mighty fine. There's that group, which are just the pikemen, obviously interchangeable with halberdiers if you wish to arm them that way. And then there's the command group.
They are excellent.
Oh, they're nice.
The guy with the sword looks like he's half asleep, doesn't he? But anyway, they are lovely. I do like steel fist miniatures. They are so well done. And there's also some crossbowmen if you wish.
I like them.
Nice bit of codpiece action there, cool. Steve, for you.
Always enjoy a bit of codpiece action.
I thought you did. And then some handgunners as well.
Oh.
Which are also very good indeed. So, yeah. So 4 new packs, 15th century Swiss halberdiers and pikemen and what have you. So that looks really cool. The big one I think a lot of people here will already be well aware of, and there's been loads and loads to talk about, is Chain of Command. Pre-order is open. There's all sorts of bundles and things with tokens and goodness knows what else. I think that's the big one that you get everything, including some resin jump-off points and various other things indeed. So, lots of goodness there if you want to get your Chain of Command 2. I'm sure those who are keen will already have pre-ordered, but if you are into that, then be aware it's open on the Lardy website at the moment. Also, some more. Now, I don't know whether these are refresh, Steve, or whether they're brand new, but I couldn't really work it out. But there's a lot of Jeeps on the wall.
No, I think those Jeeps like the old ones.
They are they? So they've done them in resin, probably. That's okay, interesting. And the amphibious one as well is a bit of fun. I quite like that one. And this thing looks like a serious piece of kit. I mean, you wouldn't want to meet him in a dark alley, would you? Blimey.
I was talking to a mate when this was first announced. I was convinced this was going to be plastic and metal.
No, it's
resin. No, it's resin and metal. Only because of that track. That track just looks really well done.
Yeah.
But there
you go. That's all I've seen. There you go. Good.
Here we go.
Sorry, I'm going to be looking every miniature people show me now. I'm going to see them made of paper.
I get it. I kind of get it. I get the idea. Maybe in a horror film, kind of thing. Someone gets, you get chased by some little paper demon. I don't know. And they,
that's really warped my brain. That.
Yeah.
Right. So
there you go.
Back on to, we'll have a bit of a chat, a continued chat, and then we'll look at some of the starred comments.
Aye.
Okay, what about stuff? What about fluff, lore, background, that kind of stuff? Do you think that is needed to make a good rule book, or do you think it's just nice to have?
That's a hard one, isn't it? Because obviously, if I'm playing you have some people who say, well, if I'm playing the period, I'll know it. But then there's always going to be some people, I guess, who are getting into it just because their friends are into it. So having a good rundown of the for example, the Hail Caesar Punic Wars book, it's got actually a really decent history section. But then what was quite good in that one, in the fluff, they mixed the scenarios in with the history. So they talked about Trebia, and then on the next page was the Battle of Trebia, and then after that it goes on, follows Hannibal's advance, and then so I thought that was actually quite a good way of doing it. They had the scenarios like through the fluff. I think a certain level of it is good.
Do you think it's often used as a justification for the 30 quid you've got to drop on the rule set? So they fill it out with all that.
Well, I've got books where there isn't any, and I've spent £30. The Saga Age of books, Age of Vikings. There's absolutely zero information. It's like, here's some Vikings, and they're pretty steep. Each of those books. There's no information on them, on other than a basic, sort of one page, here's the Vikings, but maybe that's all you need. I would expect there to be some in the book. If it is a World War II book, for example, I'd expect there to be, a bit of information about the
factions,
the operations. Oh, God. Yeah,
I actually think I think the fluff is not essential, but I do think it's a nice to have, and I quite like it in a book. I think it makes. I mean, you don't often get it in the. Well, you do get it. Actually, no, I was going to say something wrong there, but I do think they tend to be more fluff in scenario books or army list books or supplements, don't they? Than their rule books themselves.
Yeah,
because the rules can cover such a vast area. But I do think. I quite like. I do like it, even if I know the period or something about it. It's nice to read up about a bit more about it. You can never stop learning about things. So I also think if people are new to a period or not up on their history, it's a good. Or in my case, history. In the weird shit case, they're not up in the whatever the annals are. It's good to know. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to assume that maybe there should be a primer in there.
Yeah.
As if it's like someone's not picked up a miniatures game before, and that's their first one and their first one. Then their first historical period. I guess you just want something in there, even if it's just a few pages, just to drop you in.
It's like any rule set. You can't assume that everybody has the same level of awareness or experience of the system or the period. So I think Sorry,
this one's a bit personal for me, given that I used to do it. What about filler fiction in rule books? Little stories, little snapshots.
Oh, what? Like, okay. I guess. Yeah, I don't mind it. It was at the start of the chapters, wasn't it? You had like a piece of art, and then there was on the opposite. So there was a 2-page spread, wasn't it? You had a piece of art, and then like a box with some. I don't mind them. I think that's a sensible place for them. It doesn't bother me. I think I have more rule books that don't have that than do.
No, I was going to say. I mean, when I used to write filler fiction, it was the first time I'd really seen them in a rule book. I'd never really seen it anything like that. And there's some of the stuff I wrote was really, really short, or half a page or 4 page. It was just to add to the flavour of the especially most of mine were about characters as well, so real people, but who were played as characters in the book. But no, again, it's just not something I've seen in a lot of rule books. But no, I used to.
I mean, it's more of a fantasy thing, isn't it, or a rigid thing rather than a historical thing, isn't it?
Well, mine was World War II.
No, I'd say it's more historical.
Okay.
My one's. I mean, I suppose the biggest is the Middle Earth game is quotes Lord of the Rings like throughout it, but like I suppose if it's based on a certain property, but no,
interesting.
I
think it's fluff. It's nice. It's not essential.
No, it's not essential.
I think it's interesting in a historical game, because as we were just talking about, getting some sort of actual facts or non-fiction stuff is, I guess most people would assume that there's going to be, but actually getting a little bit of fiction in there, especially on a historical one, or is actually a bit different. It'd be quite interesting to open up a Napoleonic rule book and just have a 1-page filler thing just about a rifleman. Would be quite cool, quite interesting. I don't always read them. I've used to find that the ones in Flames of War, hopefully there weren't any of the ones you wrote. I wouldn't actually read them at the time, and then I would come back to them, or I just happened to read it, and because at the time, I want to find this rule. I think it was a nice thing to have.
It was certainly.
Like you say, it's totally like that's absolute. what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But yeah, trimmings.
It is definitely
luxury. That's it.
It is a luxury.
Yeah.
I know we talked before. What about painted miniatures? Are they essential for a rule book?
What, as opposed to having unpainted miniatures in a rule?
I mean, it's just having no miniatures or sandwich bags full of figures.
I guess it would. Yes. Yeah, I guess.
Our colleagues having a seizure over there. What's going on?
No, I've got rule books that don't have that have very few. Actually, no, I've got rule books that have got no pictures of miniatures in. Now I think of it, but they've got diagrams and sketches and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess it's not. Yeah, no, it's not essential. But if it's a rule book for a company that are selling miniatures, I would expect there to be. Beautifully painted miniatures in there because they want to sell them.
I don't think it's essential. I agree, but I think it is nice to have, and I think we talked about it earlier. I think it's eye candy. It makes it more appealing to turn the page. I like it personally, but is it going to improve a bad set of rules? No,
no.
Right, let's have a look at some of the starred comments and get the input of some of the viewers tonight. So, I think there's going to be quite a few.
Just one question before you do that, Steve, because it got me thinking when you're talking about some of the old rules and what have you. How many rules these days actually? So one of the things that's very different, I think, from what back in the day. I'm going to go back there again. There used to be every rule set had a ground scale, a time scale. And also, how many figures represented.
Right, yeah.
How many men are representing a figure, and that doesn't seem to happen. So you work out how long a turn took was how many seconds, how many minutes and what have you, and obviously the ground scale was how fast you moved and how the ranges worked and everything else. Now maybe I just don't even look for them anymore, but it used to be essential. You had to have that in every rule book, and I don't know whether it still is. Intrigued whether the people miss that.
Were those games were they for one scale only, or were they
traditionally? Yeah, they would have been. Yeah, I mean they would often have a section in the back of the book that said if you want to play it at 15 mil or 6 mil or whatever you were playing, this is how you convert it, and it would also convert that as well. Yeah, that's the sort of thing, Andy. Yeah, it was interesting, but it was essential. It was an essential. I remember people getting really hung up about converting, real battalion sizes into figure counts because each figure was representing 33 real men. So this battalion that this battle had, it was tedious, frankly. It was a big thing. Really big thing.
Life's too short to consider.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that these days.
Yeah.
Not sure you'd catch me doing that.
Actually, Steph makes points. There's no figure removal. Put an end to figure to man ratio. Probably right, actually. Yeah, probably right. Yeah, I think even some of the ones. Anyway, I'm digressing. Anyway,
I'm going to be checking on my rule book tomorrow. I'm looking for a scale at the beginning of them. Right, so Mark, what makes a good rule book? A good index and a play sheet. Yes,
bang on.
Good QRS, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a QRS and a good index. Yep. Alex, he was told by an ecologist last week that water would make wood in an archaeological context disappear.
Okay. I do love an ecologist.
So from Nathan, I'm easy. As long as they charge £40 per book and they have a rule book, 3 separate army books, and then release new versions every year or so, I'm happy.
Might be sarcastic there, but I'm not sure.
Gonna play them. I like a high quality rule book. The Infinity rule books are really nicely presented, soft back in a hard case.
Yeah, that's quite cool.
On History Boy 32, clearly written, proofread. Oh yeah, proofread. That sticks. Yeah. As someone that spent many years working in quality assurance of the written kind, typos, it's like chucking a hand grenade into my soul every time I see one. All the silly humorous comments removed. The last thing done these days seems to be fast play sheets. A good one makes or breaks how quickly a game plays. especially if it tells you where in the book to go for more detail. Absolutely agree with that.
Definitely.
Andrew, oh yeah. What should a rulebook have? Between 1 to 3 ribbon bookmarks. If only it was so. I would.
Oh, now that would be the dream, wouldn't it?
I do love me a ribbon bookmark and a rulebook. It makes it look a bit. It's just a step above, really. It just makes it look a bit more classy.
Yeah. So how do you stand on putting little post-it note stickers in, little coloured ones? How do you stand about people doing that?
It doesn't bother me.
No,
my 40k books all had post-it notes stuck to them. One from James. A quick reference sheet that's 1 or 2 sides, 8 pages and 20 tables is not a quick reference sheet. Yeah, absolutely. True. Carl, I think old style rules just had the rules, no fluff or pictures. The rules also tended to be much more structured, and it was easy to find what you needed.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep. Old school FRP. Pre-Fire and Fury, I just wanted clearly written rules, legible tables, and diagrams where needed. Post-Fire and Fury, I've come to expect inspirational photos of figures in the correct scale and basing. There's one for Mark. It should have a play sheet. Yep. Yeah. Agree with that. There's an interesting one from John. Hidden clauses. If something has to do with movement, then put it in with movement. I don't want something that I need to know about a movement in a section on morale.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
John.
That's for me. That's just poor. That's just poor writing.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's all over the place like that, no.
Yeah, I agree.
One from Matt. Table of contents. Yeah, it's always helpful. Walkabout games, QRS is so needed in any rule book. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, even Space Weirdos has got a QRS on the back. Look at that. It's there. It's one side of A5. Just saying, in case anyone wants to play Space Weirdos. Trevor, a good rule book fundamentally just make the game fun and enjoyable. Nothing worse than needing a degree in astrophysics to understand them, and afterwards you need a rest because your brain exploded. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's an interesting one from Martin. A series of how to play videos always helps, no matter how good the rule book is.
That was on my list to discuss, actually. I do think, I wonder now whether it's almost, I mean, okay, so the stuff that you're picking up off your, whatever that site is that you pick up your weird stuff from, Steve, where you need to be watched by the police for doing so. I think mainstream rules, it's almost become, to me, an essential to have a video to explain. I mean, because I'm a visual learner, I quite like to see how the rules play out and how situations play. I do think having a video that launches, the Lardies do this really well, don't they? I mean, every single time they launch one of the rules,
there's always seven, 8 videos. Yeah.
And I think that gives you an idea of what the rules are going to be like and whether you're going to like them, but also it means you've got a good idea about how the rules play. Yeah. Which I think is great. So I almost think that's become an essential now, personally.
Well, even now, remember years ago I did that Bolt Action Basics series on my channel.
Yeah.
They are the most popular videos on my channel.
I can believe it.
They were just literally 3 to 4 minute videos on a particular mechanic of the game, and people. I did it on a one-off sort of. Wonder if people will watch this. But yeah, really successful. One from James. Key phrase in user education at the moment is dual coding on a very simplistic level, words and pictures. Not everyone reads things the same way, so visuals are essential for communication. Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
Well, and as James is responsible a lot, I'm sure he's for the Midgard rule book. Yes, I think he knows what he's going on about.
Oh yeah, Mark has got one. I think nobody can disagree with this. This is the most important comment of the entire night. It's got to have a good, nice smell.
Absolutely, yeah.
I defy anyone that doesn't smell their rule book when they get it. I always do.
Yeah. Absolutely. That was the one good thing about SBQL. Smelled beautifully. Smell? Yeah, smelled lovely.
And is that where the love affair ended, Dom?
That's exactly where it started and finished. Yeah.
Another one from James. The most important thing a good rulebook actually needs to be is available. If you can't buy it or get your mates to buy it, then it's only so useful. Yeah.
Fair point. Fair point.
I mean, is there any rule books that at the moment you can't get that are, completely?
Ken's still looking for Operation Squad. He's desperate for it.
It's on War. It's not on War Games Vault.
Yeah, but not as a physical.
Oh right. Oh, I thought. All right. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't find when you told me about it. I the only place I could find it was War Games Vault. Couldn't find a physical.
A couple of the Warwick's, so like Soldiers of God, I think, is out of print, and I don't think that's available digitally. I know that when they go up on eBay, they all go very, very quickly. Deus Vault, I think, is also out of print.
Right.
Available digitally. There's a few, yeah. I think they float around, yeah.
All right. Mobile and Hostel. If you're into the hobby or a casual gamer, more pictures makes it more accessible. Seasoned gamers can deal with text only and still have fun. Well, Mandy, if you're going to charge £30 plus for a rule book, it needs to have plenty of eye candy.
Yep. You're right.
Dave, is the criteria a good rule book is one that sells or a rule book that gives a great game but looks less good? I would refer you to Space Weirdos.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, they're businesses. Most of the people who are producing rules, they have some kind of business. They've got to break even somehow. So it's naive to think it isn't a business and it needs to sell.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
But doesn't a beautifully crafted book that looks sensational and has lovely pictures and has indexes and supporting videos, but is a pile of cack, is still a pile of cack. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One from Lynn, a light rule set to get me hooked for cheap is really good. I spend too much on models to buy a pretty rule book for a crap game. Yeah, absolutely.
True.
Good way of looking at it. Battle Group also keeps the main rulebook cheaper by not printing excessive force lists. Instead, offers them as free PDFs. You can get in cheaper and try.
Yeah, I think someone was talking about the fact that they thought essential was to have an army list or have army lists within the rulebook, so you didn't have to buy the supplements. And I think that was James's comment around why that happens in Battle Group. I do agree. I think there needs to be something in there to allow you to play. The worst thing is you pick up a rule book and you can't actually play a game.
Yeah.
Because there's no scenarios in it, there's no armies in it. That would be absolutely stupid. So I do think having something that gets you started is essential. But anyway.
Mark didn't buy SPQR, but did it look pretty?
It did look pretty.
It was a nice rule book, actually.
It smelt nice. It looked pretty. Just a pile of garbage.
With World War II, like I tell everyone, write your own rules. Those are the ones that you love the most because it's what you want to game. Well, you can't go wrong with that, can you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. I'm just not very good at it. I want to criticize somebody else's.
Well, from Nick, a good rule book is one that doesn't give you a headache, that gets you into a game quick and is all fun. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't 3 ribbons be more ribbons than Space Weirdos has pages? You're not wrong. Space Weirdos in its foot has 15 pages, 15 A5 pages. I think there's 6 pages of rules. That's it. That's why it's so great. Yeah. So that's the end of the start. What else have people been saying here? There we go. Can't help but smell the books when you first open a new box of minis. Yeah, yep. Absolutely. Well, yeah, to be fair, yeah, Matt's got a good shout out here for a book you can't get in print anymore. Force on Force printed. So trying to find hen's teeth, trying to find a copy of that. I know I've seen them sometimes on eBay, but I think they're extortionately valued. Which is a shame because I've seen a couple of Force on Force games played on YouTube. It looks like a really, really interesting game. I think a lot of people have recommended it for sort of modern gaming. Johnny M. Oh, Jammy M. I love the smell of a new rulebook in the morning. It doesn't smell like victory. Yeah, welcome to my world. Yeah. I think Force and Force seems such a well-regarded set of rules. Such a shame. That's weird, that, because, like I said, loads of people have recommended it. They seem to really like it. It's just really difficult getting hold of a copy of it. And Beneath the Lily Banners is currently impossible to purchase in print as well.
Well, that's because there's a new edition on the way.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So Sam's, but I want to get the Rangers of Shadow Deep, but the price is crazy money.
They're quite expensive. Miniature Kingdoms has them all. I think the book is about 40 quid. But then Modifius published that, and it's more of an RPG. I mean, there is a lot of artwork in that book, and look, because it's part RPG, so there's quite a lot of relevant fluff because there's a lot of story and stuff in it. It's a lovely book. I've got my one here. Yeah, there's lots and lots. It's a very nice book. Never really thought about it. Was it 40? I can't remember how much it was now.
What's the sort of most you would pay for a rule book? Because you're given a different criteria there, Martin, with your, because it's almost like an RPG as well. So that kind of moves it up a category or what have you. But if somebody produced a rule set, I don't know, for instance, doesn't have all the pretty pictures, has all the other stuff, but they want to charge 35 quid for it, would you go, yeah, I'll have it?
I think the most I'd pay for it was, I'll give you an example. So I didn't go for, when Black Powder and Hell Caesar, when they did their new releases, I didn't bother with the special editions or whatever, those limited releases. That doesn't bother me. I don't know. I think the most I've spent on a rulebook is about 50 quid. But that was that's hardback as well. If for 50 quid, I expect it to be like a hardback work of art, to be honest. The rules that I feel that I got not ripped off, but maybe a bit done by a Saga. That's the one that annoys me. I think the most is the £20 base book, and then the £35 Viking book at the £35, which is basically a collection of army lists.
But you know why?
And the battle boards. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it is. I agree with you. I think those sort of things. But okay, so let's move that on a bit. So I know Rich Lard has been talking about the fact that the print costs are so prohibitive now, and also the fact that shipping them around the world means that they're he's looking into just doing PDFs, potentially doing PDFs only. But we've all mentioned, I think, at some point tonight, is printing off the rules to have a physical rule set. So if I don't know, I'm not going to pick on the Lardies, but say a new set of rules that you really want to try is available, but it's only a PDF, but it still costs you the same amount as a print copy. What's your feelings on that?
If a set of rules I want is only available as a PDF, but it's the same.
Only as a PDF, but it costs the same price as I don't know, a bolt action, because I know how much you love that rule system or something like
that. It'd have to be pretty good to get me to do that. But then I don't really like PDFs anyway. I always prefer to have the rule book. That's just I know some people like going on a tablet. I hate it. I've done it once for one game. I worked off the PDF doing a battle report, and it was excruciating. I'm never doing it again. So whenever anybody, people get in touch, and saying, and also just from our point of view, if you're trying to, if people are trying to sell your game, put a rule book out, because people like having a physical product.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever pay the equivalent price for a PDF.
No.
I'll go and find
The same amount of work's gone in the rules.
Sorry?
Same amount of work. The same amount of work has gone into producing the rules. The same amount of time play testing them, working through them.
Yeah, but not the same amount of material cost.
But if it cost you 30 quid for a PDF and it cost you 50 quid for a print, would you go for the print? I don't know. I'm throwing this out because I'm exactly the same as you. Because I don't like PDFs. There's something that doesn't work for my brain looking at them. I have to print.
Yeah,
them out.
I'd just buy. I guess. Yeah. I guess I get the print. Yeah. I guess so.
It does worry me a bit the way things are going with that, and I understand entirely Rich's point of view on why he's saying about that. They're sending stuff to Australia or wherever around the world, even to America these days, where the postage is costing as much as the rulebook does. It becomes an almost doesn't make business sense to do it. Also, cost of printing anything these days is costing a fortune. So I understand why PDFs make sense.
I think
if you're going to get another 20 quid to print it out yourself, it just seems, I don't know.
Alex raised a good one here, and it's probably one of his. I read PDFs for work, not pleasure. And I spend a lot of my time reading reports and writing reports. And when I get anything, I'll print it off. I can go through text much clearer for me personally if it's printed rather than like if I'm editing something, I'll print it and then go through it with a marker. Which is like, I don't know if that's just someone to do. I don't know if that's a generational thing, because half the people I work with who are half my age, they do everything digitally.
Yeah,
So,
maybe it is one of those things that because younger people, maybe as they come through, they're quite happy to play PDF. And why do you want to print it out? I don't know.
It's slightly different. One thing I didn't think I'd like, but I've got used to it, is reading comic books on Kindle.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about
that. It's just literally sliding it, and it goes from frame to frame. I read all my Strontium Dog comic books on Kindle.
See, no, I'm the other way. I spend a stupid amount of money on hardback collector's edition books because they're awesome. So I like getting big, chunky, fat library editions. With all of the extra sketches and stuff in the back, all that, they say it's bonus content. It's not. It's just like, shit, we need to justify the cost of this. Let's fill 100 pages with sketches at the eyes rejected, and now we're going to say it's extra content. But I'll always well, it's funny. I was looking at Asterisk, because there's you can get these Asterisk compendiums now, which has got like 5 or 6 of them in, because I didn't realize they were still printing them. I think the next last one or the one coming up is Asterix and Lusitania, or something like that. No, I just like big books.
Right, we're coming up to 5 to 10. That was a really good chat, actually. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, interesting, mate.
Yeah, interesting. I got to say Space Weirdos about 47 times.
You did.
It's always a good thing. The more I can subliminally try and get people to play it, because it's a bloody awesome game. So let's have a look at some of what's been posted up in the Facebook group. As always, there's a link to the Facebook group in the description. Answer Dom's questions.
And I have to defend that, right? So everyone moans about the fact they have to do the 3 questions. But then I've also seen so many comments on various other pages, and I'm not saying it's entirely because of my questions, about how many bloody spammers there are and 3D printers printing people and what have you offering services. That's why you have the 3 questions, right?
Yeah, that thing last week where I literally jumped on Facebook on my break to have a look at some nice painted miniatures, and all it was people offering their 3D sculpting service. I was like, what the bloody hell's this? So if you see anything like that in the Facebook group, let us know, and we'll release
also,
the hound.
if your post, sometimes it's so weird, it flags up people's posts as like potential spam, and it's just like, why? I don't understand. And yet
never-
the spammers, no, the actual spammers, no.
I know, it's bizarre, isn't it? Yeah.
They must know.
And sometimes it happens automatically, right? It's not just us saying.
No, it's a lot of it's automated.
So yeah, if you've ever put up a post and it hasn't appeared and you're wondering why, just message us because one of us will have a look at it straight away.
Yeah, always do. So Aled was working on 1 or 2 of his German armor, 15 mil. I say 1 or 2. I mean,
Ali doesn't do anything by 1s and 2s, does he? Look at that.
No, that's all. All late war, 15 mil German armor. Aled, and he's got an army to paint for Saturday, so I'm pretty sure you'll get through that, mate. No, that's fantastic. That's
excellent stuff.
That's brilliant. Glenn from Warbases, he said he had a rare time to get some paints out, and he's been painting.
Oh wow!
This giant.
Oh nice. Oh excellent.
I like that. Yeah,
that is
very nice.
That's lovely. That's from the
tactical
range.
Trunk and rocks. I mean, that's upping it.
Tactical trunk. That sounds like a clothing line. Or a really unfortunate disease. Edward has done this Zulu command base.
Lovely. Cool. Like it.
I'll have to get back to my Zulus, but yeah, they that's brilliant. Really is top work on that. Lovely stuff. Gaza has been working on some Novgorod Musketeers. No idea what these are.
Oh, very nice.
Excellent.
You'll be doing those soon, Steve, won't you? Look at that.
No.
Look at the bonnets on them.
Far too much white going on there. Gives me chest pains. Now this, I don't really have the words for this. This is Ian's take on Mortarion.
Oh wow!
It's
armors.
It's phenomenally good. It's just brilliant, and that green.
It's very beautiful. I love the base.
Yeah, the base is brilliant.
That's very cool.
Brilliant.
Poor Mortarion.
Yes, I mean if your name's Mortarion, I mean you're not got a very nice future ahead of you, really, have you? It's a bit like Angron. He's very angry, so let's call him Angron.
Yeah.
Right. We like people to post pictures of their games, and Jeffrey puts on some absolutely stunning games. He's been doing some 1930s gangster stuff. Look at that.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love that. That car is fantastic.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Check out Jeffrey's post in the Facebook group. He's put about 12 photographs on the game that he was playing, and the table it's just really good. It's fantastic. Jonas has been working on some winter US Rangers.
Very good.
Very cool.
Lovely stuff. I do like those the new winter US. I've actually got some of the Fallschirmjäger. Me and my mate split a Battle of the Bulls starter box. So I've got the winter Fallschirmjäger. No idea what I'm going to do with them, but they're in the stash. This is phenomenal. Right, back to the Wild West with Martin and some Wild Bill. Look at that!
Hey,
the pattern on the waistcoat is insane. It's just look at the trousers as well. That check pattern on them.
That is. Oh, I hadn't even noticed that. That is amazing. Jeez,
brilliant. Going back to the 1930s, but Paul's been working on his Chicago Way.
Very good.
That's the Peaky Blinders set, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality.
I like that he's. I know he said it's a bit of a labour of love, but he's taken them all off the pudding bases and put them on those textured ones.
Yeah. That's what I've done with all my Guards and Traitors Toll stuff.
Yeah, really does add to it. Robin has been working on some, as Dom would call it, weird shit with this Chaos Champion.
I mean, the different. I mean, yeah, it's But I really like. No, look at the base, the text.
Couldn't put it better myself.
He sent me a picture of this, and it's one of these ones I kept on looking at and kept on seeing something different. And I might every time I looked at it, but yeah, it's cool.
It's got a like a Cenobite look to it from Hellraiser. There's
That's
definitely
what
a feel of.
like.
Yes.
That's what it should be like. But yeah.
Richard has been working on his guard for Traders Hall. Look at that. That is brilliant.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
Nice.
Really,
Nice.
really good
That's
stuff.
what I've been doing this evening. I've just finished my last few of the townsfolk.
Now, we're coming up, we've got Stephen, and Stephen. It's a popular name in the group. So we've got Steve, who's been painting his classic orc. That just brings back
I remember him.
So many memories. Absolutely brilliant. That skin tone is spot on. So from Steve, we go to Steve from Basement 1908. Now, if you don't know Steve from Basement 1908, he doesn't do small scale.
Nope.
He doesn't believe in small scale. He doesn't know what small scale is. But he's been doing some Napoleonic madness. That's 28 mil.
Yeah. And, I mean, just his skirmish games involve like 3,000 figures. Just insane.
Just absolutely something else. Absolutely something else. We've got Stephen with some Emperor's Children.
Oh, cool.
Are you aware of these, Dom? You
yes, of course. They're the purple ones.
The purple ones, yes.
There we go. Nailed it.
And then we've got Stephen with some cool dead.
Yeah, I like those.
They're really nice.
They're very good indeed.
Very
very
Jason.
separate feet.
I bet you.
They're the War Games Atlantic, aren't they?
Yes, they've deemed it sane to put feet on skeletons. So
yeah, good plan.
Now I'm going to finish off with probably the best thing I've seen last week. I mean, there's everything. Everything's great, but this just stood out so much. From Stig, this is Thrug the Simple.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh, this was fantastic! I saw this on the page.
Brilliant. Just, I don't know. Brilliant. I mean, that's an absolutely corking model. Cracking paint scheme on that. Absolutely.
I just love he's looking at his foot like, oh, what have I drawn on now?
I love it.
Absolutely
Awesome.
Brilliant. As always, a big, massive thank you to everyone that posts in the Facebook group. It's the diverse mix of games and projects and conflicts and periods and figures that people are posting. Just always very, very inspirational. We're officially into overtime. It's 3 minutes past 10, and I'm still uncomfortably warm. So next week, Dom, do you want to tell about next week?
Yeah.
Right.
Next week it is on my channel, and we have the inimitable Mr. Hicks on, talking about all his latest projects, talking about why the heck halflings, and
why not halflings.
Why not halflings, and whether or not he can ever develop a rocket launcher that Martin won't destroy. There you go.
We're looking forward to that, and then it's bank holiday again after that. And then I think is it no more till Christmas then?
I think that's pretty much done, isn't it? Yeah, sadly.
Yeah, and then
isn't the one in August? The only reason I know it's a bank holiday in August is that it's a Creamfields weekend. And
there is. You're right. There is one in August. Fantastic. We are really rocking the bank holidays. Love it.
Oh.
I get to hear dum 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 for 4 days. It's brilliant. Everybody looks forward to that. Brilliant. Well, thanks for everyone for joining us tonight with the chat about rulebooks. Hope everyone has a great week, hobby-wise. Don't forget, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords in Derby. Use the code PCP5 when you PCP5 when you're checking out for 5% off your order. Links to channels, like, share, subscribe, all that
jazz.
Chutney. And we shall see you all next week. So take care, and we'll see you soon.
Take care.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.